once again, and welcome back to the Afia Morning Show. I am Nathalie Oko, and of course, Oji Wachuku is here as well. Oji, how are you doing?
I'm great. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense to say happy Tuesday on Tuesday.
Are you happy?
I am happy, but I'm trying to reduce the number of holidays.
Are you not happy?
You know how everywhere was silent when you said that? I mean...
Because it has to be.
There's nothing like happy Tuesday. If we continue this way, we'll have no days for work.
Communicating.
Yeah, you're not communicating.
Right?
There was no feedback. Communication is incomplete without feedback.
I could, visualize.
Okay, I'm giving you the feedback then.
I could visualize people like nodding here.
I think it needs to go for evaluation. We need to bring in the doctors.
Yeah.
We need to bring in the doctors. Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba is here, human rights lawyer, CEO of Ujoatumba and Company. Barrister Chidi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Natalie.
Is Ujoatumba and Company? Is there an office we can visit? Ujoatumba and Company.
You're free?
Yes.
It's at number 2 Shima Avenue.
So there's a sign there that says Ujoatumba and Company.
No, I don't have any sign.
Yeah.
I don't have any sign, but that's where my office is located.
But when you go
that's
in
where
there,
I carry out my business.
When you go in there, you'll be Ujoatumba, isn't it?
I'm Ujoatumba everywhere, in court, outside court, in chamber, and anywhere I happen.
So the clients will be Ujoatumba.
Ujoatumba and Co.
Yes.
And Company.
You know, when you get in there, your body will just start doing jiggy, jiggy, jiggy.
Hey.
All right, let's take a look at some headlines making the news this morning. We'll start with Nigerian Tribune and the top story here. Obi will destroy PDP if he returns to party. This is according to the FCT Minister Yesom Wike. Says politicians pushing Jonathan to contest in 2027 betrayed him in 2015. Tinubu will win next election. Battle for NWC slots intensifies in Southwest PDP. Don't drag security institutions into partisan politics. Federal government warns El Rufai. On this day, court Jonathan can run for presidential election. In response to Keyamo, Jonathan's office releases a 2022 court judgment affirming ex-president's rights to run again, but says he is still consulting. Tinubu, no Nigerian is second-class citizen, reiterates every region being carried along in his government, says he's on oath to serve all Nigerians, not a particular section. On the point, national security, El Rufai under fire for insisting Nigerian government empowering bandits, other criminal groups. Also here, politics, 2027 presidency, stop meddling in my political affairs, Jonathan warns Keyamo, others. On economy, Tinubu woos business leaders, describes Nigeria's youthful growing population as good market. On leadership, reactions as Wike says unresolved crisis could derail PDP convention. 800 killed as earthquake hits Afghanistan. Federal government hails Finland over Ekpa's conviction. Governor Sani accuses El Rufai of plot to destabilize Kaduna. Abuja-Kaduna rail tracks will be restored in 10 days, this is according to the minister. On the Daily Monitor, terrorism, Ekpa's conviction, clear signal to extremists, this is according to the federal government. You can't politicize fight against banditry, NSA tells El Rufai. NARD issues fresh 10-day ultimatum to federal government, others threaten strike. And lastly here, NBA pledges legal economic governance reforms.
Okay, starting from Voice of Liberty. President Islam's Daily Trust, El Rufai, Obi, Amechi in fierce defense of Tinubu. And FG hails Finland as court jails Simon Ekpa for terrorism. Kaduna government CNG accuse El Rufai of incitement, distortion of truth. FG announces updated curriculum for basic secondary tertiary education. My backing of Muslim ticket was political, says El Rufai. Murik condemns mob killing of women in Niger. ONSA dismisses El Rufai's claim. ONSA dismisses El Rufai's claims of ransom payments to bandits. And moving on over to the blueprint. FG held Simon Ekpa's 6-year jail term by Finnish court 10 months after arrest. Police intercept suspected gun runners, seize GPMG, others in Castana. Dangote Cement extends scholarship to Kogi communities. High interest rate on deposit reduced consumption by $151.6 billion. World Cup qualifier. Ekong, two others hit Super Eagles Uyo camp. At UK Summit, FIRS boss Adedeji charges global leaders on cross-border crimes. Bring Obi back to PDP. Destroy the party. Wike warns. Darkus El-Rufai insists Tinubu will win 2027 election. Ex-governor plotting to destabilize our states. Attributed to KDSG. Moved over to First Daily. Article doesn't understand law. Obi is rascal. Attributed to Wike. Kasina community leaders. Bandits walk out. Peace deal. Outrage in Edo as teachers allegedly forced to cut grass. Insecurity, North Central APC counters El-Rufai, says Tinubu making progress. GEJ versus critics. Jonathan declares self 100% fit for 2027. IPOP disowns Simon Ekpa after finish court conviction. And lastly, on First Daily, 6 dead, 9 injured in Ibeju-Lekki road crash. Moving over to Daily Independent, 2027 elections. Politicians asking Jonathan to vie betrayed him in 2015, says Wike. Mobile subscriber base suffers steepest decline in 10 months. No Nigerian is second class. No region is left behind, attributed to Tinubu. Doctors issued 10 days ultimatum, threaten nationwide strike. NUPRC and NPCL Total Energies signed deep water oil contract. Rivers LG poll heightens fears over 2027 general elections. It's mockery of democracy, rascality taken too far, says Obi. And last one right here, this Nigeria. 2027, bringing Obi back will destroy PDP. Wike warns, urges Jonathan to forget about return bid. Says even with Obi's 6 million votes, he can't pull a win because 2027, not 2023. Defends outcome of Rivers LG polls. Ribadu dismisses El-Rufai's claims of government ransom payments to bandits. Says it's baseless. And finally, right here, Barr swears in 23. Rivers LG chairman charges them on grassroots development.
All right. Thank you, Oji, for those headlines. I mean, really interesting ones here.
Yeah.
Newspapers. We'll start with Blueprint. The federal government hails Simon Ekpa's 6-year jail term by Finnish court 10 months after arrest. Now, we recall when Simon Ekpa was arrested in Finland, there was jubilation across the southeast, across parts of Nigeria, because of his seeming role in a lot of the instability witnessed here.
Yes.
Now the Finnish court has sentenced him to 6 years imprisonment for terrorism-related charges. Do you think 6 years is enough for everything that's happened?
6 years is not enough. When you consider the weight of what he orchestrated, and when you look at the number of lives that were lost, and then you ask yourself, what is 6 years? Even before 4 years now, he'll be on parole. I think the major thing is for him to be extradited back to Nigeria so that the Nigerian government can give him, you know, a kind of a trial and also a sentence that deserves what he orchestrated in the southeast here. And when you look around, you can believe me that since sit at home has been, you know, pulled back completely, you know, business have started coming up on Monday and people are gaining their trust back. People are coming out to actually do business. That fear that has been hanging on air have been dissipated totally. So I think that's a long way to show you that there's nothing that you can achieve with terror. There is nothing you can basically achieve with terror.
So then let's look at the charges, because you say 6 years is not enough. Still on Blueprint matters around Simon Ekpa. Now in the judgment, the 3-member panel of judges ruled that Ekpa incited terrorism, participated in the activities of a terrorist organization, and exploited his significant social media following to spread violent propaganda and destabilize Nigeria's southeast region. Now, the court held that Barr was not merely a commentator, but an influential member of a militant separatist movement intent on carving out an independent Biafra state from Nigeria. Now, the judges found that he issued direct calls to violence on social media platforms, especially on X, and encouraged attacks on Nigerian security operatives. And of course, beyond online incitement, the court further determined that Barr facilitated the supply of weapons, explosives, and ammunition to armed groups in Nigeria through his network of contacts in the region.
The Finnish government did their investigation very well, more especially in the area of arms, in the area of fraud, in the area of money laundering, all those areas. That was actually what made, in short, that was what gave him, they didn't touch him on the area of terrorism. Let me tell you something. In Finland, if you are found guilty of terrorism, death sentence, you hit the chair, they will electrocute you. So them giving him 6 years for all these things, and he's guilty on all of them. It's not as though there's a particular one that they did not find enough evidence to convict him. He's guilty in terrorism, he's guilty in all the count charges he's guilty on, and you're just giving him 6 years.
So what kind of Biafra was Barr seeking if he was also being, prosecutors also presented evidence of aggravated tax fraud and breaches of the Attorneys Act? So doesn't that portray him as somewhat lawless?
Yes, because he's a lawyer, and he's also a member of he serves in the military in Finland. So all the law in all over the world has regulation. There are certain things that as a legal practitioner you are not expected to do, okay? And also as a military, you're not even expected, all the things, he used his position to. Initially, it started like a talk. We all thought it was going to be a talk to follow up on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because then he was incarcerated. We thought it was going to be a talk to champion Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because then he was incarcerated. We thought it was going to be a talk to champion the Biafra, to tell them to wait, that Mazi is coming out, to tell them to be of good behavior. The next thing, police stations, and he started inciting violence, he started inciting fear in people, and the audacity with which he was using to do it, it was something to not write home about. And I think the punishment given to him is not enough. What he did, yes, I know that maybe some may have capitalized on that and stretched the violence beyond the limit he envisaged, but his hands are not clean. He perpetrated a lot of violence in the southeast, and to show you that he is the one behind it, since he's incarcerated. I thank the Finland court, because Nnamdi Kanu has been in incarceration for more than 4 to 5 years. Yeah. But the Finland arrested him, and within 10 months, they concluded their investigation and they gave a verdict. I mean, that goes a long way to show you that justice delayed is also justice denied.
Okay, could his involvement in Finnish government the reasons for the light sentences?
I don't know why they gave him light sentences, because I don't really know why, because when you look at the volume of which involvement in Finland and in any country, if you are a member, no one is above the law. No one is above the law. So I'm still looking at maybe probably he plead immunities. Yes. And all that. Now let me tell you, the agitation for a people is not a wrong thing. Okay, when a people say that we want to be separate from a particular country, there is nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, it's in the Constitution, it's in the United Nations Charter. So for you to wake up one day and say, we don't want to be a member of this country, we've been marginalized, we've been killed, okay? Now, Biafra have been marginalized. I want Biafra, okay? I want us to be on our, if you don't want us to be participate in Nigeria, let us go and stay on our own. But it has to be peacefully. You don't have to spill the blood of any member of this country or any part of this country for you to actualize that. If the Nigerian government thinks that we Igbos were a dot in the center, we don't want anything, okay? Let us go and stay on our own. We have all it takes. We have the technology, we have the brain. Let us go and stand out. But for you to spill blood and say people should not wake up and go to work on a Monday, killing people, shooting police stations, burning everywhere in the name of Biafra. No. I don't think that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had in mind.
Could extraditing him, could it be in works?
Yeah, extraditing him it would definitely work. Because let me tell you one thing: after serving this jail term, okay, I don't think that the military will take him back, and I don't think that the law enforcement and the lawyers will equally want to have anything to do with him. Okay, yes, he will be jettisoned, and again, the Nigerian government will now push for his extradition. Once they do that and his feet are on the shores of this country, he will face almost the entire charges that he faced over there with different witnesses, with different documentation, and with different prosecution, you understand? So I think that's what needs to be done in such a way that people who take violence as a means of actualizing anything, who take killing their own brothers, killing their own people in the name of, it doesn't make any sense, Oji. It doesn't make any sense. In any mass language, it doesn't make any sense.
IPOB's own Simon Ekpa after finished court's conviction, this one from First Daily. So who was Simon Ekpa representing?
Simon Ekpa was claiming it's very good that IPOB moves straight to do that, because if you can remember, there was a split in IPOB. Yeah. They were saying that we are not interested in sit at home. Have you forgotten when sit at home will be called off, and on the morning of that day, another group will go on the social media and call it on again? So there was a kind of a split in IPOB. Some are saying that the loyalist to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not in support of sit at home, while some are saying that it was Simon Ekpa that was enforcing sit at home. Now, let me tell you one thing. Do you know that this judgment will influence Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case? It will.
How?
Yes, it will. Now, let me tell you, that's why the move that IPOB have made to disassociate themselves, which I think they should have even started even before his arrest. Okay, what are you talking about? They were accusing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of terrorism, okay, and they were accusing him of using his radio to be inciting violence and all the rest of them. But the same thing. They are calling, but the only thing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's witnesses and prosecution, his case is weak. His case is not as strong as the one of Ekpa, okay, because they have put what we call a no case submission. Okay, that's what we are waiting, and I don't know why. I thought the verdict on the no case submission would have come out even before the final verdict on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ekpa's case, because it would definitely influence it, okay? Yeah. Either directly or indirectly, it would, because we are talking about the same Biafra, and we're talking about the same activity, we're talking about the same Southeast. You understand? So okay. that sharp distinction is very, very important. If not, they can even apply for a certified true copy of Ekpa's judgment and try to tender it here as a way of persuading the judge here to convict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay,
let's take a quick breather and go for a commercial. Right back.
Back and still watching the Afia Morning Show live from Enugu. Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba is still here, and of course, Ojiwachuku as well, looking at headlines. So let's shift away from Simon Ekpa to why did you echo the Barrister Chidi? All right, Delhi Independent 2027 elections, politicians asking Jonathan to buy betrayed him in 2015.
Doesn't matter.
FCT Minister, yes, a week.
It matters.
This was one of the things he raised during his, I think he now has frequent media parleys, almost monthly, more or less. He was talking about it during his media chats. This came up alongside other issues around Peter Obi and how he should not come back to the party, or it's going to be the destruction of the party. And at the same time, Jonathan said, he's saying that Jonathan is just going to be, should not waste his time coming back to run. That the same people encouraging him to run are the same ones that made sure he did not win in 2015. What's your take on Jonathan's, the calls by PDP of Jonathan to come in and run for president?
I agree with Wike on this one, because when you cast your mind back in 2015, okay, almost everybody, more especially from the north, those who want Jonathan to come back to run, because it's not as if they love Jonathan.
But tell his politics.
It's not as if they love Jonathan. Let me tell you one thing. They are looking for a southerner whom they can use to displace Tinubu and who will not stay in the office for more than 4 years. Yeah. That's all. That's all. And Jonathan fits that description. Jonathan fits that description. He's been in the office for 4 years, elected, so he cannot run for more than a term.
So it's a safer one, right?
It is safer for them to have Jonathan back. And again, he loves handing over.
Why do you say he loves handing over?
Well, no matter how the political election or everything looks out, you understand? Look at what he said. He said, my vision and to dream to rule this country. is not more important than the blood of a Nigerian. That's a capital statement.
That line is...
That doesn't come from an ordinary human being. You understand? And he loves handing over peacefully. He doesn't want anybody to die. His vision and his political ambition is not bigger than this country. So he is someone that the North loves. They love that kind of a person who will not cling onto power or maybe run to Russia and form another ally to hold them bound. I know what's happening in this country. But that's what they were afraid of.
But would a Goodluck Jonathan do things differently?
I wouldn't say so. Goodluck Jonathan is a man who has written his name in gold when it comes to political, decisions. He will still come, but what I'm asking is that the political atmosphere in Nigeria now, would Goodluck Jonathan be able to, if he becomes the president, will he be able to put his feet on the ground and fight terrorism, fight banditry, you understand, and fight corruption and all the things that is bedeviling this country? While he was in office for 6 years, to what extent was he able to fight corruption? Okay, what is he coming back to do? What is he actually coming back to do? Is he coming back to be a northern candidate who will hand over power to them immediately after 4 years? Or is he coming back, you understand, to fight the things that are bedeviling this country? That's the major question we have to ask ourselves.
That's why I asked you the question, would a Goodluck Jonathan do things differently? And this day, 2027, bringing Obi back will destroy PDP Wike once.
Right.
Something that caught my attention here is, says even with the Obi's 6 million votes, he can't pull a win because 2027 is not 2023. And he's calling out and saying, yes, after all the big marrow and all that Tinubu is going back to power. And I beg to ask this question. Wike is in PDP.
I wanted to say that.
And calling out another party, an opposition party, APC, led by President Tinubu, that he's going to win 2027. And he's still in
PDP. And there was another newspaper writer today that read that he had meeting with Anyang, you understand, and some other PDP stakeholders in Abuja. So he's in two parties, and you can't even sanction him. So now have you ever seen this kind of politician before?
The question now is this a subtle threat?
Is a subtle threat. I see it as a political threat. You can't call Obi a rascal. You can't say Atiku does not know the law.
Why do you see it as a threat?
Look, you can't. It's a very big threat because the inability of PDP to sanction him or to expel him totally from PDP weakens the opposition. Let me
clarify the question. If it's saying that Jonathan should not be betrayed by people who contributed to his not winning in 2015, his re-election bid, and secondly, saying that Obi should not join the party. I mean, saying all of this and knowing how powerful the FCT minister has become within the national, of course, section of the PDP, is this a kind of subtle threat? Okay, no, in that sense, I thought you were making reference to an entirely different... No, I'm making reference to another...
I can't consider it as a threat. It's a political opinion. In the best description, it's a political opinion. Because whatever you say about Goodluck Jonathan is there, and whatever you say about Obi, Wike have been saying things about Obi, even before Obi left PDP. Wike have been saying all kinds of things about, and Obi is this kind of politician that all those things doesn't touch him. He knows what he wants to do, and he is, campaigning and working for an opportunity to get to that place so that he can be relevant and do what he wants to do. I've told people that only LP cannot win election, and only Obi cannot win presidential election. He needs the North, he needs other political giants and other grassroots to be able to be that candidate that will win at the end of the day. I pray vehemently that the political atmosphere will keep on changing, so that the opposition, the real opposition, will now select him as their presidential flag bearer. Because if not, what happened in 2023 will repeat itself again. The vote will be split, you understand? Riggers will have opportunity to rig their way back into Aso Rock and ask you to do what? To go to court. And there's nothing you will do about it.
Okay, back to Wike. I'm going to ask this question, right? Is the media giving him a lot of voice? Is that healthy? And him and making all those entrances and all that, or the media just seeing him as a cash cow? Bring down money and we do the media parley and promote whatever you need to say. I'm beginning to ask a question: is it healthy at this point in time? Because whenever there is a media parley, there must be something said that probably might come off wrong from Wike's mouth.
No, Wike is on the spotlight. Wike is outspoken. Wike has been a former governor for 8 years. Wike has been in the political limelight. You cannot turn the camera away from him. You cannot. If you try it, you will not succeed. When Wike is talking, they would want to listen. Look, he's in the spotlight now. That doesn't mean that he'll be in the spotlight forever. Okay, he's also the FCT minister, working hand in glove with the president, okay, destabilizing River State. So look at his political activities. He deserves a little bit attention.
So he's entertaining us.
Yeah, he's entertaining us, yes.
And we're enjoying it.
It's a political entertainment. Let's see how all these things will play out in 2027 election.
Great.
Have you seen what happened in the LG election that was held in River State?
Did you see the results? Did you see the results? Rivers local government poll heightens fear over 2027 general elections. Now, APC won in 20 out of the 23 local government areas.
A party that is not in
River
power.
State, exactly.
And the 3 other from PDP, they are Wike's loyalists. Okay, if they can come all out and look Nigerians in the face and commit this kind of electoral atrocity, you can only go and grab your cup of coffee and wait and see what they will roll out in 2027. Because up to now, no electoral reform, okay? Up to now, no constitutional amendment towards 2027. Up till now, nothing has been put in place to show you that the current administration is ready to ensure that 2027 election is free and fair. And tongues have been wagging.
Tongues have been wagging. That you mentioned that
over there in the north, over El Rufai has been smoking hot that the best that Tinubu can get is what? Is third position in 2027. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. But if this whole coalition...
Well, he said that was actually his position from the last election, 2023, that Tinubu came third.
So why didn't he go to testify in the Supreme Court when the matter was there, or produce evidence?
As he stated,
produce evidence.
Whenever they counter him now, it'd be like, whatever I did yesterday is right. It was just political.
Yes, I know it's political. Even when they asked him why he supported a Muslim ticket, he said it's also political. Okay, I wonder what is the kind of the divide here between what is political and what is democratical. You understand? Because what is political could not be what your judgment should be based upon all the time. You must look democracy. We seem to be practicing democracy, but even military rule is even better than what we are seeing these days. Military rule back then in the days is far much better. I never saw any military man who pointed to say go to court. No. They had respect for the judiciary. They had respect for the legislation. But it's not that they were using a decree and they were dictatorial in most of their policies. Apart from that, the current government all these democracies, they are far much worse than military rule. It's not as if I'm calling for military rule, but a government that is not accountable, a government that is not transparent, a government that is not democratic in policy making and principle. You cannot come out and tell me that you are a democratic government. This is not democracy. This is not democracy. It's a charade of democracy. So Obi is a credible candidate. Goodluck Jonathan is a credible candidate. But which political party will make them their flag bearer?
All right.
That's where it lies.
Unfortunately, we're out of time now. Thank you, Barrister Chidi, for joining the show this morning.
Always
I know we can never really get enough of this energy, right? But we'll still convene again some other time. Thank you once again.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming around here. Yeah.
We'll go on a quick break now. When Monitor returns, we'll take regional stories. And don't forget, when the clock strikes 9, we'll be discussing that trending video featuring a male passenger being bundled out of an Ingu aircraft just yesterday morning. Stay tuned.